the first moment stepping off of the boat, I'm in Russia now. This is Russia.
英語教育を変えます。
語学博士ゆうしんでございます。今日はですね、25年来のアメリカからの友人に、Zoom で参加していただいてます。ステイシー・ヒューズさんですね。ですね、ステイシー・ヒューズさんとは、私が2001年、25年前にピースボートっていう世界一周の船で乗って、一緒のキャビンですかね、一緒の部屋に、過ごして以来の仲良しの友達です。今日はステイシーさんの面白い人生についていろいろ深掘りしていきたいと思います。ステイシーさん、軽く日本語でご紹介お願いします。
はい。私の名前はステイシーで、アメリカ生まれ、アメリカのモンタナ州、だいたい真ん中の上の山が多い州に生まれて、カリフォルニア育ち、ほとんど。そして、大学3年生の時に初めて日本に来まして、日本との付き合いが結局、長くなって、今でも、日本とだいぶ関わってます。今、私の仕事は、日米教育。草の根レベルで、アメリカ人のどうやって日本のことを知らせるのかと、日本のことをアメリカ人に紹介すること。楽しいです。面白いです。
それにしても、ステイシー、日本語が上手になりましたね。
そう感じてはありません。
すごい感心してます。じゃあ、ステイシーさんはですね、非常にこのかっこいいカリフォルニアの兄ちゃんみたいな顔して、非常に面白い人生を送ってらっしゃるんですね。で、僕も知らないこともまだたくさんあると思いますんで、ちょっとどうやってステイシーがステイシーになったのかっていうのを聞いていきたいと思います。まず、カリフォルニアで生まれ育った感じですね。じゃあ、アメリカで80年代に生まれ育ったって感じですよね。
そうですね。
どんな感じでした？どんなアメリカの、その当時のアメリカって最高だよね。なんていうか、今、振り返れば、どんなイメージでしたか？
これも、私の感覚、だけ、しか話せないなんですけど、大雑把と言うと、80年代は、冷戦。
そうだね。
ソ連とアメリカなので、それに関してちょっと、いろいろイメージが作ってました。映画を見て、なんかトップガンとかランボーとか、そういう、いつかにアメリカとソ連が戦争するのが、
そうだね。
なんとか当たり前。ものすごい浅く考えるとそうです。だから、
ステイシー少年自体はどんな人でした？女にモテモテの感じのカリフォルニアの兄ちゃん。
人と関わるのが難しくて、なんか怖くて、シャイの方ですね。そう、だいぶ、スポーツとして、長距離で走ってまして、波乗りしてました。
サーフィンはもうその頃からしてたのね。
もう、中学校ぐらいから波乗り。
じゃあ、日本に興味を持って大学の3年生の時に日本に来たんですかね？
はい、そうです。留学生として。なんですけど、大学2年生から日本語のクラスを受けてました。全く日本に興味なかった。
たまたま単位の関係で日本語を学び始めたと。
そう。で、授業を受けて、日本語を学ぶのが辛かった。難しい言語。英語から
全然違うもんね。
にすると難しかったけど、授業の一緒に取ってた学生と仲良くなって、その理由で続きました。
明治大学でしたっけ？それで来たのが。
明治学院。
明治学院。
そう、横浜に。そして私は政治学部、一応人間関係に興味がありました。なので、東アジアでこのトピックスを学ぼうみたいな機会がありまして、行っちゃおうか、と言ったら、そしてそういう、留学しながら、日本の面白さを初めて、
なるほど。
知りました。それも助かったけど。
LINE 登録で3大6点あるよ。
じゃあ、ここら辺から switch into English maybe.
Yeah.
In the third year of your university, you came to Japan for the first time.
Yes.
What was your first impression? How is it different like before and after? Like before you come into Japan and after you come into Japan? That's like 1990 something, right?
That's 1997.
1997, 8. Oh, yeah.
And that's a good question. To be honest, I don't remember having very much different.
Okay.
The one thing that I remember learning as a student
Yeah.
at Meiji Gakuin
Yeah.
was about Japan's Article 9 in the Constitution. And that was a very new thing to learn as an American after I grew up in the Cold War. Even the concept that a country is not automatically required to have a military per se. And so that was very interesting. And at first I thought it was a completely silly idea that doesn't make any sense. But the professor was a very good professor.
Was that a Japanese professor?
Yeah, basically, once I, kind of learning that, I was quite impressed. And so that was one thing that I took away, one thing that changed.
I see. It's funny. You and me are like totally the other way around, because my professor at Nanzan University was Harry Ray, American person. He passed away already. He was a professional in US-Japan history, and he interviewed all this people working in a GHQ, the 7 years of occupation period, He was a professional, and he was teaching me what happened and how is it changed and everything. So you and me are like the other way around.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So then I came back home, and then I went back on the JET program.
Yeah.
For a year. And then when I was on JET, I learned about Peace Boat.
So that's how we met, actually. I came out to Tokyo to complete my English study. Then I had this opportunity to work in the Peace Boat, offer to work as an interpreter. So we got on the boat on May 2001. So we spent 3 months traveling around the world, right? So the question to you, Stacy, is how did it change your view after traveling around the world for so many times?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I formed a lot of my view about the world, a lot of my views about the world in the 1980s in the Cold War context. The Cold War was very polarized. There's the West and the East. There's the good and the evil. And each one has the allies. And that was a very inaccurate picture of the world. A lot of the world was dominated by that structure, but it was also a very incomplete. I mean, there was so much more to the world than that. And even though the Cold War was over, it kind of reinforced the idea that there was the Cold War idea that there was a good and an evil and the good one. And, so when I got on Peace Boat and that first voyage around the world, and I ended up visiting a number of these countries that were considered like the enemies of America. And I remember my family was concerned about this and said, you don't really need to go to those places. And so first was Vietnam. And of course we had the Vietnam War experience. And I was worried, okay, and this is in 2001 in the spring and the summer. And so I thought, what are they going to think about Americans? So I thought maybe there's still some animosity toward Americans. And then we went to Israel and Palestine. We went to Cuba. We went to El Salvador. And the U.S. has a long, kind of a often questionable history in Central America. And then, so we went to all these places. And then, but the final kind of the culminating one was going to Russia. Remember, at the end of our voyage, that was Petropavlovsk.
That was your first time too, huh?
Yes, to Russia. And, and we spent the day going around. And I remember clearly the first moment stepping off of the boat and thinking, I'm in Russia now. This is Russia. So it really had us like a very, strong kind of exciting feeling to it. And we had a good time. I remember I remember a lot of the things that we did. But I don't know if you were there when this happened, but we were walking. It was like the end of the second day, and we were walking back to the ship, and there was a park. And we were walking back to the park, and this was definitely with some of the people that we worked with on the ship, and there were some kids in the park.
Kids,
like I would say maybe like high school age kids. And some of the other people that we were with were kind of joking, and they say to these kids, he's American, because they understand that the American is kind of has its own consideration in the world, and maybe people have their perspective about Americans, and so they were trying to see what was there. And so but anyways, these kids, they came and they were excited to talk with all of us, and I remember talking about two things. One was snowboarding, and the other was rap music.
With these kids.
With these Russian kids. And I still have a picture with these kids.
Cool.
And in that experience, I realized, wow, this is not the Russia or the Russians that I imagined for all of my life. Right? In fact, when I was, when I was younger and I dreamed about being a fighter pilot, or I wanted to be a soldier like Rambo, or I wanted to, do these things, essentially what I was dreaming of was killing these kids. That one day we would meet in the war, and one of us would die, and so that was it's a very simple realization, but it was pretty fundamental to me realizing that how I thought I saw the world and how the world actually was two very different things, and so I had that experience in Cuba, in Palestine, and in all these places. But the big one was Russia.
I have the same lesson looking back. We grew up in the same era, and Japan is very much influenced by American media too. We love the Rocky IV. The Rocky IV was a big thing. I was in the 6th grade. I asked my dad to buy me this dumbbell to train after watching the Rocky IV. And there's this Top Gun, all these movies, we have very, very strong idea that, America's justice and, Soviet Union is like evil thing. It's pretty deep-rooted. It's so, we took it so naturally that way. The movie have a very strong impact.
And even, what we see under it, or what happens is that, we receive that information on the surface, and under it, we start to infer what kind of structure organizes the world. And those things are like, in the world, there's good and evil. In the world, there's two sides. There's black and white. And there's going to be a showdown. And, and these kind of things, nobody told us that directly, but often by watching these kind of movies that indirectly are based on this kind of relationship, we start to form our, how we organize the world in that same way.
That's very true. We are lucky in the early 20s. We get to see the world and get to know the people on the other side of the earth. And, that really changed the way we look at the world. We have the same experience. And I was lucky. I was there only for 3 months when I was 25, one time, but it's got big impact in my life.
Then somebody, once again, they said, oh, he's American like this. And so I found myself in front of Gaddafi, shook his hand, I got his autograph.
こんにちは。EMW 語学研究所の代表、語学有心です。私は20年以上海外営業マンとして世界中で交渉やプレゼンを重ねてきました。その中で痛感したのは、世界市場における日本人のプレゼンスの弱さです。2024年時点で日本人の英語力ランキングは世界92位、先進国中ダントツの最下位です。私は日英中を自在に操る語学のプロとして日本の間違った語学教育を根本から正し、真の国際人を日本から育てるために EMW 語学研究所を立ち上げました。大手総合商社の商社マンから海外ベンダーと交渉するエンジニアまで、今日も意欲のある社会人の皆さんが EMW で学んでいます。If you're ready to take your English skills to the next level, I'm here to guide you. Let's unlock your global potential together. I'm looking forward to working with you soon.